The decision has been taken that Mike Graham will not return to talk. I'm afraid that is as much as I can say on that matter. I know that is going to cause a lot of upset and a lot of concern for a lot of our audience who've been with us for a very, very long time. But
the death of Britain's corrupted MSM continues at an astonishing pace. Just like my defenestration from GB News represented the end of a true renegade approach to news and a move towards that channel becoming the establishment organ it is today, the removal of Mike Graham from Talk TV for a Facebook post that he insisted he never wrote is the beginning of the end, I think, for the previously brilliant channel. I mean, I loved it. I was there all throughout 2020 hosting the Drive Time show, and at that point it really was the home of free speech. In the end, though, the woke campaigners at TalkSport, who have spent the past 5 years opposing Talk TV's political viewpoint, won the brutal civil war that has now raged for weeks inside Rupert Murdoch's News UK. It didn't matter that Mike was the top rating host, that he had previously turned down big money offers to defect to GB News, and that his blood, sweat and tears is a large part of the success of Talk today. It didn't even matter that there has been a mega viewer boycott and that ratings are down over half since his suspension. Because in corporate media, trust me, woke always wins. So in just 83 words, News UK Chief Executive Rebecca Brooks brutally ended Mike's decades-long MSM career with this statement. We were made aware of an abhorrent and vile post on Mike Graham's social platform several weeks ago. Mike Graham said this was not posted by him and he agreed to cooperate with the company investigation using an independent forensic firm. He later reneged on several opportunities to cooperate with the company investigation. We have been greatly concerned at his repeated failure to cooperate on such a serious matter, and the decision has been taken that Mike Graham will not return to talk. Now, it was left to Mike's longtime co-host and friend Julia Hartley Brewer to make the announcement to gobsmacked viewers.
We are the home of common sense. It's 2 minutes past 12. We are going to go straight to PMQs just a few moments. But as you will have heard in the news, that News UK, the parent company of this station, Talk, has made the following statement. Their statement reads as follows. We were made aware of an abhorrent and vile post on Mike Graham's social platform several weeks ago. Mike Graham said this was not posted by him and he agreed to cooperate with a company investigation using an independent forensic firm. He later reneged on several opportunities to cooperate with the company investigation. We have been gravely concerned at his repeated failure to cooperate on such a serious matter, and the decision has been taken that Mike Graham will not return to talk. I'm afraid that is as much as I can say on that matter. I know that is going to cause a lot of upset and a lot of concern for a lot of our audience who've been with us for a very, very long time. But that is the official statement from the parent company of Talk, and that is where we are at in terms of Mike Graham, who will not be returning to this station. Let me introduce you to my guests in the studio. Claire Pistol is the former Conservative government advisor. She's been with me.
But that moment of high drama was followed by silence. Because there's no free speech anymore on Talk TV. And just like I was at GB News, Mike is now erased from Talk's history. It's as if he never existed. Hilariously, and sometimes you've got to see the funny side of these things, right? Mike has been replaced in the Talk lineup. They posted this new picture showing their fresh new lineup by, wait for it, Mark Dolan. Yes, Mark Dolan, the ultimate shill who did everything he could to take my job at GB News before eventually being sacked by management when it became clear the viewers were not going to forgive him. But he's safe, so Talk have anointed him Mike's successor. He won't take over the breakfast show, though. I'm told management want Jeremy Kyle in that slot, but he is resisting, as is Kevin O'Sullivan. Both remain close friends with Mike Graham.
Well, a very good morning to you. It is Monday, the 10th of November, and I woke up this morning and I thought, you know what? It's absolutely hacking it down with rain across the United Kingdom. The wind is blowing. It's awful, isn't it?
Welcome to Plank of the Week. I'm Kevin O'Sullivan. I'm in for Mike Graham, and I'm surrounded by beauty and glamour this week, at the risk of seeming like an old-fashioned sexist, which of course I am.
But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It is over for the MSM, and this is actually the best thing that could have happened to Mike Graham, even though he probably feels battered and bruised right now. As Calvin McKenzie wrote, sad to report that Mike Graham, the talented breakfast show presenter on Rupert Murdoch's Talk, has been fired by News UK over a post on his Facebook page which he said had been hacked. The audience has fallen by 60% since he was taken off air a couple of weeks back. Mr. Graham is expected to join Dan Wootton's growing stable of talent. Interesting. Come on over, Mike. It's good over here. Hard to believe the station will survive with Mr. Graham supplying a majority of the audience. His place has been taken by Jeremy Kyle, whose strong suit on ITV was insulting white council house tenants. Hacking has always been an issue with News UK. Rebecca Brooks was fired, then rehired as CEO after facing a lengthy Old Bailey trial accused of hacking. I have my doubts Ms. Brooks intends to hire or rehire Mr. Graham. And Father Calvin Robinson, who will be here live shortly, added, there was nothing abhorrent or vile about Mike Graham's Facebook post. Shame on Talk, News UK. I stand with Mike. Take the independent Republic of Mike Graham truly independent. Legacy media and its overbearing, controlled narrative is dying fast. And I've got to say, Mike was also right not to cooperate with News UK's dodgy investigation, as exclusively outlined for Outspoken by the brilliant new media sensation Lauren the Insider. Watch this. Okay, half of you watching this are not subscribed to Dan Wootton Outspoken, and the best way you can support what we do is by hitting that subscribe button. It is completely free, and turn on the notification bell to be alerted to our new episodes.
Another day, another casualty. Mike Graham has been axed, ousted. Be gone with you, Mike, from mainstream media. What Talk don't realise is they have just given Mike the biggest start in independent media, because people no longer want to hear propaganda. And he is a casualty because he's not fitting in with their woke agenda. I do not blame him for not giving them access to his phone and computer for their independent investigation. It's not an independent investigation, in my opinion. Why would you let the very company that has spent £1.2 billion in the phone hacking scandal anywhere near any of your electronic devices? No, thank you. This is another casualty that has fallen by the wayside in mainstream because of their woke agenda. They have hung him out to dry to make an example of him, to be seen to be doing the right thing. Ultimately, this is utter bullshit.
And so many of us in the independent space, even though, by the way, I don't agree with Mike on lots of issues, like on Tommy Robinson, for example. But that doesn't mean that I don't think this will be a boon for Mike's career. Indeed, my old friend Abby Roberts, author of the new book Hot Banana, posted on X, "This is Mike Graham's Tucker moment," referring to Tucker Carlson. Fuck Talk TV and their bootlicking censors. Go for it, Mike. And I wanted to hear a bit more from Abby Roberts on that, actually. So she sent us this exclusive.
Hello, it's me, Abby Roberts, comedian and troublemaker, and somebody who's very used to being censored and cancelled. I've just seen the news that Mike Graham has been sacked, or as the Americans say, canned from Talk TV for something he said or didn't say, or possibly offended somebody, or it was outrageous. I don't really give a shit. He has been sacked for his free speech. And because he refused to take part in a Maoist struggle session. Well, I've got news for you. Legacy media, including Talk TV, GB News, you're on your way out. You're on your way out. There's a new media landscape full of free speech, full of offence, full of words. Words that may offend you. So stop clutching your fucking pearls and wake up, because it's over. It's over. Mike, come into the new media landscape waters. It's lovely and warm. I'll see you over there.
And I mean, I do have to say, the longer the shills in the MSM hang on, the harder it's going to be to come into this space. So this is good timing for Mike. And I have to say, when I saw him posting overnight on X, what an ugly bint, when someone called him a big fat useless blubbering racist, I knew his new era was upon us. And I think it's going to be big for him. I mean, his anodyne first video has already had over 1 million views. Watch.
Good morning, I'm Mike Graham, and I just wanted to say a special heartfelt thank you to all of you brilliant listeners and viewers who have sent me some of the most fantastic messages of support over the last couple of weeks. I really appreciate it. I've read every single one, and they really do give me great encouragement. So thank you again. I also wanted to say a personal apology about having to cancel the show at the Shepherd's Bush Empire, The World of Common Sense, this week. But don't worry, it'll be back next May the 26th to be precise. So we will see you then. Meanwhile, I'll see you soon.
Of course, there has been total silence today from every talk presenter, even though Isabel Oakeshott was happy to make this on-air dig yesterday.
Isabel Oakeshott, how are you?
Good morning. Well, I'm still getting used to seeing you at this time of the morning.
Well, there's an answer to that, but I'm not doing it on national radio. The BBC, many people are saying to me this.
Not cool, and there's fury from the audience. Sandy of Suffolk wrote, so Talk TV have just announced Mike Graham will not be returning to Talk. Shame on Talk. Utter shame. Disgraceful treatment. This is from Simon Wright. Disgraceful treatment of Mike Graham by Talk TV. They wanted access to his phone, messages to his friends and family, his photos, emails, bank accounts. He's not a terrorist. They did it to Dan Wootton. Who is next? One slip of the tongue, and Julia Hartley Brewer and Kevin O'Sullivan, you're gone. Queen Natalie posted just like that, a 1-minute statement, and he's gone after pouring years into Talk, grinding through low ratings when no one was listening. He stayed loyal. No doubt turned down big offers from GB News. He did, I can confirm that, when others jumped ship. Lesson, loyalty means nothing in the MSM and establishment. Mike, this is your chance. Go full unfiltered. Say what you really think. No more chains. The worst takes were unsurprisingly from GB News, which seemed to call his post vile, and Narinder Kaur, who wrote, Mike Graham officially sacked from YouTube channel Talk after failing to cooperate with the investigation on his racist Facebook post. Why didn't he just cooperate? I doubt Talk would have done anything. A channel steeped in hate towards brown and black folk, a slap on the wrist and a pat on the back. Narinder Love, just wondering, why aren't you talking about woke ITV allowing Adil Ray, the host of Good Morning Britain, to advocate for the introduction of Sharia law? Thought that might be a little bit more important for you, but clearly not. But look, big news. Because in the past hour, Mike Graham has announced his return to the media independently, where he has pledged to continue broadcasting popular segments like Plank of the Week, which suggests he's in a position at the moment of like, to hell with you, Talk TV, to hell with you, News UK. So I want to take you through his major announcement. He has posted, it is with a mix of fond memories and excitement that I share this update with you all. After an incredible journey as the presenter of Morning Glory on Talk TV, my time at the station has come to an end. More on that in the coming days. It has been a truly enjoyable experience, a platform to engage in lively debate, connect with brilliant guests, and most importantly, to amplify the voices that matter most, your voices. That said, it's time to move on to the next chapter. I've been immensely grateful to my viewers and listeners without whom the show would have been nothing. Your passion, your questions, and your unwavering support have made every broadcast meaningful and every conversation electric. You turned a program into a community, and that bond is something I'll carry with me always. I'm thrilled to announce my new venture, The Mike Graham Show, launching on YouTube with full details and updates on my webpage at themikegrahamshow.com. This is where I'll continue to serve the public in the ways that have always driven me, holding politicians to account, highlighting injustices wherever they arrive, and being a relentless voice for those who feel ignored or overlooked by the government. The fight for truth, fairness and common sense doesn't stop, it just evolves. I hope you'll come with me on this journey. Your energy and engagement are what will make it special. Stay tuned for some more announcements in the coming days. Exciting things ahead. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Let's keep the conversation going. He then sent an email to his Substack subscribers, revealing more details of which I want to reveal to you now. He says, the Mike Graham Show will be my new portal to the chaos of current affairs, where we'll unpack topical issues, grill top guests, and deliver all the unfiltered fire you loved from Morning Glory. No holding back, no corporate leash, just straight talking truth and a good laugh along the way. Keep an eye out for fan favorites like Plank of the Week, daily posts, hot takes, and opinions that'll keep you fired up. And we will be ramping up the live show, so get ready for some real-time showdowns. This is going to be a blast. Join the ride. Let's make some noise together. Hashtag Mike Graham Show. Hashtag no holding back. So it's on. It's on. And for me, this is a good moment because what it shows is that the MSM is on the way out and independent media is the future and the truth. And now on that note, let me bring in two independent media superstars on our superstar panel. But first, we've been told our whole lives that wrinkle creams were the easiest way to look younger. Now, one doctor says that's nothing but old news. According to Dr. John Lake, the world-renowned Beverly Hills beauty expert, most wrinkle fixes on the market are nothing but glorified moisturizers. He says they hardly make a dent on your appearance. Some can even be harmful to your skin. Now, recently, Dr. Lake has focused his attention away from mainstream cosmetic practices. Why? Well, so that he can pursue a revolutionary anti-aging breakthrough, one that some experts say could empty the wallets of the cosmetic industry. He says it's almost like Photoshop for your face, and you may even be mad after seeing how easy it is to visibly erase your wrinkles from view. His personal clients have dubbed his new do-it-yourself technique the age rewinder method because it can take years or even decades off your appearance in under 2 minutes. In light of this amazing breakthrough, Dr. Lake has released a step-by-step video to the public, free and uninterrupted, where he outlines exactly how to use this simple solution from home. And he says if it even helps one person look younger or feel more confident, he will be thrilled knowing he helped. The video has since gone viral. At first, it was shared by users on Facebook, but since then, it's racked up over 2.3 million views and counting. So far, the comments and feedback have been outstanding, with thousands of women reporting they look decades younger. One viewer commented, "Best results of anything I've used. I can't believe how well this works. I'll never stop using this. I don't understand how it works, but the results are great. Thank you." So you can find out more about this yourself right now. Go to bhmd1.com/outspoken or click on the link in the description box below. That's bhmd1.com/outspoken. Now, there is one thing that Dr. Lake asked from his viewers. If watching this video helps you look and feel younger than you have in years, then please share this video with your friends and loved ones. Together, we have the power to help as many women reclaim a youthful look as possible. So go watch the video at bhmd1.com/outspoken right now, or just click on the link in the description box below. But now, back to the show. Bernie Spoffworth and Father Calvin Robinson with me. So, Father Calvin, it looks like Mike Graham listened to your advice. He's going independent.
He absolutely should. Fantastic news. The thing is Mike already bigger than Talk TV? Are they going to regret this decision on day one? Because as people have pointed out, he has his own audience. He's been there for many, many years, slogged it out over the dry spells, when there was a mass exodus over to GB News, etc., etc. He hasn't been treated with much loyalty, has he? And I don't actually think he's done anything wrong, to be honest with you. In fact, I do think he's done one thing wrong. He should have just owned it and said, yes, this is my opinion. I stand by it. To say, oh, I was hacked is a bit wet. But, I get it. People want to protect their livelihood and protect their jobs. But
because Calvin, let's come back to that. This is really important because you don't actually think this initial post, which News UK described in that statement today as abhorrent, where Mike Graham was talking about the fact, why are we surrounded by so many non-white people? Even though you are a non-white person, you don't actually think it was abhorrent.
Why would it be? Mike Graham is an English white person in England, a predominantly white country, and he's asking the question of why is he being ethnically cleansed in his own words, like surely anyone should care about that. If I went to Japan and saw that there were very few Japanese people in a city, I'd be like, why are there not more Japanese people here? This is very strange. What's going on? He has every right to ask that as a white person in a white country. There's nothing abhorrent about that. There's nothing vile about that, unless you hate white people, which is what the Liberals clearly do. They hate white people. They are often anti-white racists. And talk is obviously, playing the game of trying to feed the crocodile and to seem, not woke, but to seem politically correct. Just forget all that. Mike Graham is known for saying what Mike Graham thinks. And I don't always agree with Mike Graham. I surely don't. But I've watched his show and listened to his show for years and years. Him and Julia Hartley Brewer are Talk TV. So they've just cut away half of Talk Radio, Talk TV, whatever they want to call themselves. I think it's just Talk now, isn't it? But again, you don't have to agree with these people. You don't have to agree with them on everything. Even if you disagree with this message in particular, compare and contrast. Tell me we're not effed by multicultural. B, why are we surrounded by non-white people? I mean, why are we surrounded by non-white people? I am a non-white person myself. I find it very strange that England, which was a predominantly white country for over 1,000 years, has suddenly, in major cities, become predominantly brown. Something's changing, and it's changing very fast. If white people don't ask now, it may be too late for them to ask in the future.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good point, by the way, because I obviously don't agree with Mike Graham on lots of things, but that doesn't mean that we should want him to be cancelled and that he shouldn't be able to have this discussion. Bernie Spofforth, what do you make of what happened today?
Well, first of all, it's caused a really big problem in my house because the only station that's listened to in my house in the morning is Mike Graham. And now there's quite a lot of tantrums going on. So thanks a lot, Talk. Look, as someone who was viciously cancelled and arrested for making a mistake, I'd just like to point out again what Keir Starmer said a few years ago about making a mistake. Now, I don't know if Mike Graham wrote that post. I don't know if he was hacked, right? And none of that matters. What matters is what Keir Starmer said. And he said, if you make a mistake and you delete it, it's over. And that's exactly what should have happened to Mike Graham. And what Talk have done, and look, I understand it. You have this huge vocal minority who's very woke there. And some of them, I'm sure, were very deeply offended. And they're right to have what opinion they want to have. Everybody should be entitled to that. But in the same way, Mike should be entitled to have it. And I think sunshine is the best disinfectant. If you don't like what Mike Graham says, don't listen. It's that simple. He has an opinion, he's expressed it, you don't like it, don't listen. Why fire him? He didn't say anything illegal, he didn't break the law. What he did was break the woke code. And I know that sounds really harsh, and I am very sorry for anybody who was deeply offended, but it's not against the law to offend somebody. Well, it didn't used to be.
Well, it didn't used to be, but look at what's happened with Joey Barton. What's so interesting, though, of course, is that Mike's listeners would have been happy to have that discussion. I think if we were in America, what would have happened is that we could have all had a debate, right?
Exactly.
Mike could have had a debate about his post. You know, it's like that whole discussion, Tucker Carlson, Nick Fuentes, etc., etc. Let's get Mike Graham versus Tommy Robinson, because Mike said some terrible things about Tommy Robinson, but I want to see that conversation, and I would happily moderate that conversation. And I think that's what the mainstream media is so scared of doing. But here in the independent space, actually, sometimes it does involve having in-depth discussions with people who you don't necessarily agree with on everything, because we can have that nuanced debate without advertisers saying that we're going to be cancelled. Sorry, Benny.
And we should.
And that's how the human race develops, right? We debate ideas, we debate what people think, even when we don't agree with them, and we live together. You can't just shut people down and get rid of them because you don't like what they've said. But look, there were rumors, weren't there? I saw some paperwork that some of the stations won't even allow their presenters to call Rachel Reeves Rachel from Accounts. And that's what we've
Yes, that's GB News. They've banned it. They've banned it. They've banned the nicknames that I used to use when I was on GB News, and I now use on Outspoken. Like, you can't call Starmer Slippery Starmer. You can't say the British Bashing Corporation, etc., etc. Father Calvin, what did you make of the fact that Julia Hartley Brewer was first forced to announce this news today. A very unenviable position for her. And then on this free speech station, she has to say, but that's it. We can't talk about this. And there's been radio silence from all the Talk TV presenters today, Father Calvin, and I do feel uncomfortable about that. I mean, would they really be sacked if they said, look, Mike's a great friend of mine, I've loved working with him? We've seen none of that.
Mike will get absolutely zero support from his former friends and colleagues. He will find out that friendship is actually very transactional. And now that he's on the outside, he will remain in the cold. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is in that industry. It's disgusting, but that's the fact of life. Who's left there? I think it is just Julia's the only major star left there. There's Jeremy Vine or Kyle, whichever one it is, that plays it very safe. There's not many people that have any household names. But, you know, as much as I love Julia Hartley Brewer, when I got fired, I went on her show, and when the cameras went off, she was like, yeah, I would have fired you too. Like, she's very much plays the party line. She won't step outside of that sphere. She will protect her job. Everyone else on the TV station there will protect their jobs over their friendship with Mike. And I'm sure privately they'll be sending him messages of support and to let him know that they still love him, etc. But that's not what matters when you've lost your platform. But he will thrive. We know he will thrive. And I think you're right to say he shouldn't have took part in their little coping session, their struggle session, as Abby Roberts called it, because you should never give over your phone to an organization or any institution that wants to kind of find fault. And that's what they're looking for. They're not looking to find understanding. They're looking to find fault. And it's incriminating yourself. They may have found other messages that they disagreed with. And it's exactly what happened to Tommy Robinson, who's just been found not guilty of the terrorism charges that they tried to use against him to force him to give up his phone. I don't think anyone should ever give up their phone in those certain circumstances. But it would be lovely to see some public support for Mike. And again, I don't agree with everything he says. I don't think we should ever agree with everything anyone says. But I do think it would be nice to see some of his friends and colleagues have his back. But I would be very surprised if it does happen.
And Bernie Spotforth, I have to say, I'm stunned that the management have decided to promote Mark Dolan permanently into the lineup over someone like Alex Phillips. What are they thinking?
I don't know. Maybe Mark Dolan is easier to control. Maybe he's going to follow the party line better. He doesn't want to lose another job again. And also maybe Alex decided she didn't want to get up at that time in the morning. And if that is the case, Alex, totally behind you. Totally.
Yeah, well, just to say, it's not the case that Mark has replaced Mike on the breakfast show, but he's become one of their main flagship presenters now. I think that spot should have gone to Alex Phillips. I really do.
Yes, me too.
I think it's a big mistake that they've made, Father Calvin.
Oh, I agree. I think Alex has more than earned her medal. And I've buried the hatchet with Mark, but I was very upset with the way he jumped into your grave at GB News. And so to see him jumping into Mike Graham's grave is a little bit, I'm getting deja vu now.
I know, it's like, do you not learn your lesson? Seriously. Oh, goodness gracious me. But look, fundamentally, I think the point that Father Calvin has made is utterly critical here. It's not about agreeing with everything that Mike Graham has said, everything that he has done. As I say, not just about that post, but about his views on Tommy Robinson. It's not about that. It's about the fact that the only way we are going to save this country, and they are the stakes, are if we have journalists and broadcasters who do not live in fear. And the problem is this culture of fear, which has been introduced as a result of the sackings of myself and Father Calvin Robinson and Lawrence Fox and Mark Stein from GB News, has now swept across the media. It's very much in place at Talk now. This is why we need to support independent media ventures. And I'm not talking about me at Outspoken. I am so grateful for your support of me over the past year. It has blown my mind. It's been absolutely incredible. And we are flying now. And so that's why I want to support others like Mike Graham to get into this space, to make something of it. Because if you look at what's happened in the US and the way that there is this thriving conversation, it's all driven now by the independent media. It is no longer driven by the mainstream media, not even Fox News anymore. Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please click on my face just to the bottom left to subscribe to this brand new independent news source. and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to our brand new live shows, uncancelled interviews, and special royal episodes. Outspoken is also now available as a podcast, so you can listen to the show every weekday on the go, wherever you are.